Hey everybody, thanks for watching today. Today we are actually going to be talking about new construction versus pre-owned homes. Which one's better? Especially in today's low inventory market, is going for that new construction the right thing for you? Hey, I'm Dana Weis with eXp Realty, here to help arm you with the knowledge to make this decision yourself. And today we're specifically looking at the pros and cons of each. Now this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual just because there's so much information to go over. So please stay until the end if this is a topic that you're wrestling with. First, I'm actually going to start with the pre-owned homes and specifically with the disadvantages and the advantages. Actually, we'll do advantages first. Okay, so advantage number one. Well, it should come as no shock that in an older home, you're going to have the old world charm, the character that you most likely won't find in new construction. And does this really matter? Well, to some people, yes, it does. They don't want it to be like everybody else's. Plus, it can be more desirable in that it's possibly closer to downtown, closer to the beaches in our case, depending what you're looking for in location. It can just be closer to those things. Plus, it's not going to look so cookie cutter or like the tract homes or it's going to have that architectural appeal that is attractive to a lot of buyers. So number two. Typically, you get a larger yard with an older home, and you might be wondering, hey Dana, why is that? Why do you get a larger home with a larger yard with an older home? Well, it's because land wasn't at a premium back in the day as it is now. So they used to make larger lots with larger homes because that was the expectation. People expected an acre or two as opposed to some of the these ones where you can walk out and you're touching your neighbor's fence or even houses. So older homes have a larger yard. Number three. An established neighborhood. You'll get a feel for the types of people and the neighbors you would have moving in there. You'll have people who know, love the area. If there's an HOA, for instance, you'll have a really great idea of how that HOA operates based on the conditions of the homes in the neighborhood when you're looking around. However, a lot of people looking for older homes don't like or want HOAs, so that's actually a huge draw as well. Now, regardless of the HOA, if homes are maintained in a way that you like, then an older home might be right for you. Basically, established means you know what you're getting and there really won't be many surprises, whereas that's not necessarily the case with a newer neighborhood. Sometimes you just won't know. Number four, advantage. Longer-term neighbors, which ties in closely with the established neighborhood. Now, this is really interesting because you're probably wondering, why in the world should I even worry about the neighbors? Well, if you're going into an established neighborhood with longer-term neighbors, you know they are already established in the community, whether they maintain their homes and whether it's what you're looking for in the community simply by taking a drive around to see. An older neighborhood is going to be in the condition that it's going to be in every day of the week, whereas the new home construction, maybe not so much. It just really, you're just not really certain because it hasn't had long enough to establish yet, or even, for people to maintain their homes since it's brand new. Number five, you're going to have mature trees and vegetation. And sometimes I really don't think about this, but if you have trees, for instance, that have been there a long time, you already have the shade that you want or the place for the kids swing, whereas with new plantings, it's going to take a while to grow and you may even have moved on before the landscaping even gets fully grown. So that's definitely something to consider if that's something you really want to enjoy from day one moving in. And the last one, number six. Closer to downtown, restaurants, shopping, or even your job. Usually, older homes are typically more concentrated in the inner city, whereas newer homes are normally built on the outer fringes of the city or certain pockets within the city because that's where the available land is. So if you're looking for a drop in the commute time or closer to conveniences, then you might actually want to consider a pre-owned home. Okay, now the disadvantages. Number one, it's going to require more maintenance. Naturally, the maintenance falls on you with any new to you home, but with a pre-owned, depending on how well it was previously maintained, maintenance will probably be required sooner. And this requires setting aside some money because it's going to be needed, for maintenance. And normally I like to recommend 1% of the sales price of the home. So for instance, if you're buying a $500,000 home, you may want to consider having a separate account just for home maintenance that comes up. So say $5,000 in an account. If it's a pre-owned home, it's a lot more important to keep this in mind versus new construction. Disadvantage 2, it can be expensive if you have to replace things like wiring or plumbing. Obviously, with all of the changes in technology, this may be something you have to do with an older home unless a previous owner already did it. If you actually had to replace or even install electric, for instance, it's going to be expensive, but hopefully your real estate agent will point this out to you if you don't mention it yourself. Now, I did some research, and most older homes here in Florida are circa 1900s, but there are some circa late 1800s. You want to definitely know the age of the home and get a good home inspection, even though the inspector can't always tell, everything about a home because they can't, laser focus into the wall, for instance, necessarily. Okay, number 3, smaller storage spaces, closets, garage. And you may be thinking, why would a bigger home with a bigger yard have a smaller closet? Well, back then, people wanted the space to spend time with family and friends who came to visit. They didn't spend a lot of time in the bedrooms, and they didn't usually have the amount of things that we have nowadays. We just have a lot of stuff. So closet space wasn't something they considered important. It just wasn't a big factor back then. We have a lot more junk than they did, nowadays we do. Okay, disadvantage 4, it might require some upgrades. And what I mean by this is, what about the 70s linoleum or the butcher block counters? Prior to 1978, they used lead-based paint in homes that require special handling because of the lead. Things like that. When you see those certain areas, even though you love the rest of the home or the flow of the home, those areas are just sticking out to you and you think, ugh, right? Those areas need to be remodeled. Maybe they make you cringe. Other than that area, though, you love the flow, the charm, the character, the architecture, the central location, but you can't stand to look at the white countertop tile, for instance. So it might require a few updates, such as a new HVAC system or a kitchen renovation, or any renovation for that matter. Definitely something to consider, since all of that will cost money. Disadvantage 5, believe it or not, a pre-owned home can sometimes be more expensive than new construction. Sometimes it's less, but it can be more, especially depending on where it is in the city. Location, 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 right? If it's close to downtown or to the beach, for instance, generally it's going to be more expensive. And it's one thing to consider if you have a hankering for a particular area. A pre-owned home may cost you more compared to a new home construction on the outskirts of the city. Disadvantage number 6, pre-owned homes generally have smaller square footage on average. Going back to ye olden days when a house was simply a place for shelter and to sleep in, but it wasn't really where people hung out, right? They needed less square footage. Not like today where we make it our castle and people spend more time inside than they do outside. Everyone that has square footage that is comfortable to them, whether it's 1,500 square feet or 4,000 square feet, so you just have to know what yours is. We want a home that's comfortable to us and how we plan out and live our lifestyle. New home constructions are going to be more open concept homes and generally feel larger for inside visiting, living. They're just more livable with the space provided. Okay, so now new construction. Advantages. Number 1, little to no maintenance right away. You definitely won't have to replace a water heater or the HVAC system anytime soon. And if you do, there's a home warranty given with new homes that would cover it for a while at least. Most home builders give at least a 1-year warranty that covers the home, kind of like a new car warranty would. You will definitely want to double check to see what the warranty covers. They'll come fix it unless it's something that you caused yourself by, say, pulling the wires out of the panel. Okay, that way they won't cover. They won't fix that for you. Plus, most builders warranty the structure for something closer to, like, say, 10 years. If something happened, you would submit the request and then they come and fix it. Be sure you work with the builder and that you know the warranties they're offering. Okay, number 2, having modern conveniences. They're going to have the stuff that we need for the new technology integration, such as extra closets for all of our televisions, smart devices, computers, etc. They'll be ready to go with the way that you live right now. Number 3, energy efficiency. You may be thinking, why are they more efficient nowadays? Well, think about it. As we've progressed, so have all of the other industries, electrical, lighting, etc., in terms of product quality. Energy efficiency is massive, such as radiant barrier roofs, better insulation, more energy efficient heating, windows. All of these things save a huge amount when it comes to utility bills. So new homes will always be the most efficient as compared to older homes, unless of course they've been replaced in an older home. Number 4 is just the newness factor. Let's face it, we all love shiny new things, and there's an emotional tie to that. When is the last time you bought something new and you open the box or car door and it has that new smell to it? You just emotionally connect, right, to that thing simply because it's new. So let's face it, a new home does the same thing. There's just an emotional factor of the brand new home, and you're the first person to live there. Woohoo! Number 5, if that new construction is on the outskirts of your area, then it's highly likely to be less expensive than the resale homes on the inner parts of the city or even the more prominent areas surrounding the inner city, or in our case, beachside, right? So if you can be less expensive, if you're buying on the outskirts, as long as you don't mind the commute, the distance to the grocery store, for instance, make sure you're balancing your total life work quality with, with your home quality, and factor in the things that are most important to you. Close to a job, less expensive with fuel, etc. Number 6, new construction typically has larger square footage and more open floor plans, and is more economical in terms of how its flow is laid out. You may have to tear down a wall, for instance, where in a pre-owned home, you might not have to in order to get the flow that works best for you. Actually, I think I mixed that up. Anyway, all right, disadvantages. The things you should weigh all the shiny newness against. Number 1, tract homes have very similar floor plans and look very similar on the outside because that's how the builders make communities look uniform. It's called cookie cutter neighborhoods. Now, even though the builder does provide somewhat different floor plans or even elevations, also known as the facade on the outside of the home, such as stone, stucco, brick, etc., the homes are still extremely similar. Number 2 is immature landscaping. We kind of talked about this already, but it's going to take a while for those trees, shrubs, etc. to grow where it looks like they've been there for a while, right? So all of the yards usually look similar as well. Oh, number 3. So the house has yet to settle since it's new. A lot of people move into a new home and start seeing a crack from the house settling, up in the roof, wherever the walls, and they complain it's shoddy craftsmanship, but it's more than likely just settling. It settles over time as the house sinks into the ground and gets comfortable in its new spot, which causes slight cracks, imperfections in the house. You just have to stay on top of it and be aware that it's going to happen. Disadvantage number 4, new home construction comes with some extremely pricey upgrade options. Be aware that when you go look at the model homes, they are not showing you the base house. It's almost always with the upgrades, which bump the price up of the home, could be tens of thousands of dollars. So for instance, if you choose the upgrades that bump up the cost by, say, 7%, it doesn't sound like much to say it that way, but if you tack that onto a $300,000 home, that's $21,000. So now that new home just became $321,000. If you choose more like 15% in upgrades, then it becomes $345,000 instead of $300,000. So make sure you keep your options in check and make sure you have great buyer representation. The builder's agent is going to want to sell you on all those amazing upgrades since it bumps up the price so much. One tip to know: which upgrades are important to you and which aren't. Because if you decide to upgrade certain things after the fact, after you bought the home, it may cost you twice as much as just doing it at construction. Plus, if you have a certain style that you want, the design studio that the builder is using may or may not have that style. So just do your homework before you make any decisions. Number 5. You're going to have a longer wait time. Unless you buy a ready-to-go model home, and different builders call those homes by different names, but essentially you choose an almost done or completely done home, which means you probably didn't get to choose any of the amenities. The builder did. You are just buying and moving in. But if you're building from the ground up, then you get to choose so much more, but you obviously have a longer wait time for it to be finished. So depending on the builder, you may have to wait 5, 9, even up to 12 months, depending on the time of the contract. And disadvantage 6, your home will not be perfect. Newsflash, you must understand the reality that a new construction home is still not going to be perfect. No home is ever perfect, and there will be things that just aren't perfect. No one can make it perfect, and people can be disappointed if they think it's going to be perfect when they move in. You always notice the little things, no matter if it's new construction or a pre-owned home. Hey, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope this was helpful to you. And remember, make the wise choice. Till next time.